What's up, guys? Welcome to another Talking Bull podcast. I'm Anthony. This is Nick. We're here to bring you your weekly nerd news and talk some bull. Real quick PSA at the beginning of this. If you're watching this on YouTube and don't want to look at these mugs or don't want to sit there and pay for things when you close it, you can't listen to the audio anymore, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how YouTube works. We are on Spotify and every other podcast service. So iTunes, Google Music, FM player, iHeartRadio, wherever. SoundCloud, if you venture on over there. We're like SoundCloud rappers. Anyways, we are audio version everywhere. So if you want to check that out, we'd also appreciate it if you went there and liked and followed and whatever thing they got going there. But yeah, we're trying to get our Spotify numbers up. So we'd really appreciate it if you went on over and checked it on over there. It'll be uploaded there every week. I'll put links out every week. You guys can check us on out. And for those who looked for the Facebook group leak thing, I don't think we ever talked about this. Did we ever talk about this?
Yeah, we went through it.
Oh,
We lost it.
Yeah, we lost it. So yeah, Facebook kicked us out. There is no Facebook. Facebook said, no, you guys can't have it. And we went, fine, okay. Go fuck yourself. Moving on. But yeah, Spotify, check us out. Appreciate it. Big news. Not really. This was like sleek news. We totally forgot about it. I recorded it and went, oh, fuck, I forgot to talk about this. So we're doing it this week. Comic-Con last week, they announced and showed off the new Watchmen trailer. Takes place after the Watchmen movie. Canon with the Watchmen movie. Looks really cool.
Yeah, we just played it. It looked okay. Kept the same feel from the movie, art style, you know, artistic viewing.
That dark grittiness of it.
I'm just curious, is Snyder attached to it at all? Is he a producer on the show?
I don't think he is. Yeah, I don't think he is. Probably in some way he's got his name somewhere on it, I would assume. But yeah. It looks like I said, it follows the visuals of the visual tone that was set in the movies. Yeah. Jane Smart is going to be playing an FBI agent. Laurie Blake, aka the Silk Spectre 2. Seems she's taken her father's name. Mm-hmm. Never married Night Owl, obviously. And then there's a sneak preview. It shows Dr. Manhattan coming back to Earth after going to Mars at the end of the movie. Shows off different characters, different heroes. Looks like the tone of the show is very much...
So is she the older version of Ackerman?
I'm guessing so.
Because she was Silk Spectre too.
Yeah, I'm guessing she would be the older version of that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. I didn't even catch that in the trailer because I'm dumb.
Just reading it now, she was Silk Spectre too, but I don't know. I don't remember her name as Laurie Blake. I don't remember the character's name, but she was Silk Spectre too because her mom was the first one.
Yeah.
So
and stuff happened with the comedian. And cool. I love the Watchmen movie. I love the stuff they added to the Watchmen with the comics. The actual, obviously, graphic novel is awesome. The movie's really long, but still pretty good. Mm-hmm. This is cool. I'm glad they're doing this, and I don't care that the tryhards who were like, you can't have anything except for this, and then the and then the fucker who wrote it obviously hates it because he hates everything.
Hates everything that was ever done with his property.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want my properties to be anything. I'm going to go over here and be angry. Because that's what he does anytime they announce anything with his property. And I was reading the other day, the deal he signed with DC with his characters was if DC stops using them, the rights will revert back to him. And I'm like, that was a really stupid deal to make.
And
of course they are.
Always make something. Gonna see lunchboxes.
Yeah, of course they're gonna do it. This is a huge property for them right now, especially when they integrated them into the main DC universe. And Dr. Manhattan
completed that series.
No, it got delayed. It kept getting delayed. I think there's one thing left with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it just kept getting delayed, and then when that happens, it was already a 12-issue run, a year run. And it's been a year and a half, almost 2 years, and you still haven't completed it.
Yeah.
I've stopped reading it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
But it was really smart of them to use Dr. Manhattan as the catalyst for everything that was okay, 52 didn't really work. Well, guess what? Dr. Manhattan did a little experiment. It turns out he just made a little pocket thing, and that was the thing. Mm-hmm. But everything over here still works. And I'm like, that's fucking genius. You just blame a character with obviously godlike powers. Whereas, there's a few DC who could do that, but not on the scale that Dr. Manhattan had.
Yeah.
So that was pretty dope. This show looks awesome. It very much looks like the heroes are starting to come back. this Rorschach thing kills a cop, and maybe the cops are like, well, we can't be cops if they know our face because they'll kill us. So now the cops are wearing masks.
That looks pretty creepy.
Yeah. And like you see the cop in the yellow sock mask thing, and then it looks like kind of the main character is torn between like her duty as a cop, and she's like, well, the world's dark and it's black and white. There's no gray. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the whole thing of the Watchmen theme, mm-hmm. right? There's black and white. There's no in between. You either do it this way or you don't. And I like that theme. Yeah, I like that theme because like it you have to look because the world obviously isn't black and white.
No,
there's shades of gray of like.
I pretty much live in a gray world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, like that's where you should.
But you have to. You can't look at things black and white, right? Yeah, you can't. You can't. The world doesn't function that way. Like sometimes
you should live in a gray world where you're open to both sides of the story and see both shades.
Exactly. What's the thing that necessary evil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch this. You gonna check this out?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched the movie obviously when it came out. 2009. 10,
yeah,
10,
yeah.
10, 9.
Yeah.
I think it was 2009. So it's been 10 years. God, fuck me.
Uh-huh.
Good God, he's fucking good. But, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to say in those 10 years, I maybe have watched it 2 more times. And 2 more times that I watched it was like 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while since I've rewatched it.
I haven't watched it in a couple years. But
it's been definitely, I'd say, 4 to 6 years that I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah.
It's just a long movie.
It is.
And I don't always... It's just a long, heavy movie.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just hard to find myself, like, putting it on to be like, this is going to be background noise for me. Like, I'd rather watch literally anything else. Or nothing at all. Than to play, you know? Like...
So also in the show, Robert Redford is going to be playing President Robert Redford in the upcoming series.
He plays himself.
Yeah.
Now, is that a play on the idea that, like, as an act, like as a celebrity, he runs in this world and wins, like a Trumpish? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe so. Yeah.
Is he the acting Hollywood Robert Redford who now runs for president and wins after Reagan?
Yeah.
It seems like that.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah, it was teased in the original series that Robert Redford took over as president, and they confirmed it in the Doomsday Clock series that Robert Redford was the president in the thing.
Okay.
After Reagan.
Because Reagan's...
Well, yeah, Reagan in the thing is that he gave it over to Gerald Ford, who died, and then Nixon died, gave it to Gerald Ford, and then Robert Redford won the election in that thing for that year. It's got a premiere. Yeah, it's got an October date. I wanted to see if it actually...
I wonder who's picking up this mask.
I'm guessing it's Dr. Manhattan.
I think it's Manhattan.
Yeah. Or it could be like... It looks like Manhattan.
How far after the movie is this?
I don't...
Well, it has to be quite far. If actually, it has to be quite far, because if Jean Smart is playing the older Silk, she's aged, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to see if it says how far.
Like set 20 years after the events of the movie, but it might be 20, 30 years.
Yeah. It looks like it's
especially if you're going with the Silk Spectre tease, it has to be at least 20 to 30 years after.
Yeah. Yeah, I
was just wondering what other characters from the movie could come back, or not actor-wise, but character-wise.
Night Owl.
But I guess in 30 years we don't know if they're still alive.
Yeah, Night Owl, and that's pretty much it because the comedian is dead.
The comedian dies in the movie?
Yeah.
Rorschach's dead.
Rorschach's dead. Oh yeah,
Ozzy's dead.
Ozzy's dead.
Manhattan lives forever.
And Manhattan's on Mars. But yeah, obviously there could be what they do with the thing and make a new Rorschach.
Oh yeah, like
obviously.
New character.
Yeah, I'd like to see a new comedian. Mm-hmm. We saw it looks like Night Owl's ship.
Yeah, taking down those other things.
Yeah, so maybe he shows up as they're obviously a different character, but I would like to see how obviously Night Owl knows what happens.
New Night Owl / Justice League Batman.
Yeah. because obviously this initially was supposed to be a DC property, and DC was like, whoa, we don't like these tones.
Yeah.
We need you to calm down. We're going to wait 37 years to make this with Dark Knight Metal. You need to calm down. But,
or Man of Steel.
I meant comic-wise.
Oh.
Yeah. Also for this week, yeah, I'm going to pretend that's how that works. We got a new trailer for Zombieland 2 Double Tap. I have not watched the original Zombieland in, I don't know, since it came out.
I've never seen it.
It's actually a pretty funny movie. But, like, yeah, obviously it's been a long time for this movie since.
Is that Emma Stone? It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, Abigail Breslin, and Woody Harrelson. And, like, it's funny because when they all come up, they're, like, all nominees and winners of Academy Awards now.
Yeah.
Since this initial movie came out. And, like, I think this was one of her first initial roles, Abigail. But, like, yeah, they're obviously, it's been a long time, so they're significantly older.
Scroll up a little bit. I just want to see if it mentioned when the first one came out.
No, these articles never do, which just is like,
oh, continue, like, people are,
it's like, it's just like,
are just lazy.
Well, it's I guess
just setting up the story. You know,
yeah.
You want to mention, if you're writing about a sequel, you want to mention in your article when the first one came out.
No, they just say it's a long-awaited sequel.
Yeah, and it's like just
2009. Yeah. So you know, the same as Watchmen. But yeah, the trailer looks good. It looks funny. It's just continuing their antics. And at the end of the trailer, it shows off characters that look exactly like them, but with just slightly different names. So like alternate Earth ones. It looks funny.
Is it like a comedy?
Yeah, it's
like
yeah.
Is it like the idea of like a scary movie, like it's a play on zombie movies?
Yeah, it very much is. Where like his character has rules to survive in the zombie apocalypse. In the first movie, they just flash them all on the screen, and then he runs into Emma Stone and all these other two characters, and yeah, they're adventures. They run into Bill Murray, who's not a zombie, but he's surviving the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, it's just a funny movie that back in the day I enjoyed.
Do you think it will work well now? Or has too much time passed?
I think
sequels for 10 years don't always are hit and miss.
No, but I think
some pop and some are like, wow.
I think this would do all right because of who's in it.
I guess.
Like people like Woody Harrelson,
yeah.
These two people really like the original ones.
It's a full cast of people that everyone knows.
Yeah. Plus, it's adding like Zoe Deutsch, Rosario Dawson. This Thomas Middleditch guy people like, and Luke Wilson,
Dan Aykroyd,
yeah,
Bill Murray
are all gonna make. So like it's gonna do well. I think it's not gonna do like gangbusters, obviously, but
were they rated R? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe it's rated R. So it'll do all right. I think it. And some things in the poster it says Zombieland 2, but in other places it says Zombieland Double Tap, which I kind of like. I like when things aren't sequel numbered necessarily.
You like a subtitle?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the subtitles. You know, not
this guy directed Venom.
Yes.
Ruben Fleischer.
Yeah. Good director. I like him.
Not directing Venom 2 apparently.
No. So in other news, Andy Serkis. Is up allegedly to be directing Venom.
I did read that two other names were on the list. It was scroll down a little bit. This article does not mention the two other names, and not on a blank.
Yeah, there's
Rupert Wyatt,
okay,
who did the first Planet of the Apes with Frankie.
Yeah.
And Travis Knight did Bumblebee. So those three: Travis Knight, Rupert Wyatt, Andy Serkis.
I'd rather have Knight.
Any one of them.
I don't know.
I didn't. I'm glad they're changing it because I wasn't gung ho on the first Venom. I liked it, but I could see
there's definitely an improvement. Yeah,
improvement. So I like that they're not sticking with the same creative team. It's not like, oh, we knocked it out of the park, let's keep the band together. It's like, no, let's replace the drummer.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, he drops the bass line for the song, right? So let's replace the drummer and try to move from there. Because I'm pretty sure the same guys who wrote the first one are writing it.
Yeah.
Are writing the sequel, so like, but they're changing the stuff, direction.
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily like Sudeikis as director. Like he's done
a lot. He's done some stuff. To be honest, I haven't watched anything he's directed.
Yeah, he did the Andrew Garfield movie Breathe and the Mowgli Legend of the Jungle movie, which was supposed to be put out by Warner Brothers, but they dropped it and put out Netflix. Netflix picked it up. So I'm like, I don't know if you're still trying to pick up Venom from like, yes, people liked it, but not a lot. Yeah. And like, now you have Carnage coming in with Cletus Cassidy.
I think one of the other two.
With Woody Harrelson? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, Travis Knight did Bumblebee. Not bad.
Bumblebee was really good, and it fixed Transformers.
It fixed some stuff, even though it's going nowhere. They're rebooting everything. And I also like Rupert Wyatt, who did the first Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Restarted that franchise.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
we kicked it in the high gear.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of chugged along. Yeah.
No, it went to Matt Reeves.
Like, they were good, but in terms of, like, out there and like people talking about them, they kind of just chugged along. When that first one came out, people were like, "Oh, it's really good." Yeah. Second one, kind of like the same thing. By the time we got to the third one, it was good, but it was people were still like, "I kind of don't care anymore." Yeah. Whereas like Venom, like you're still like very much in the public eye. People are like, "Is Spider-Man going to be in it? How are you doing this?" Blah blah blah. Like first one was okay, but where are we going? Kind of thing. So. I'd rather have the other two as opposed to him, but if he does get it, I mean, good for him. That's a very high profile.
I'm just like that. If anything, I like that they're changing direction.
Yeah, like he's a great motion capture performance, but I don't know if I'd necessarily want him directing a big thing. They're looking to start in November, so they're gonna have to pick soon. Soon. So we shall see, but that's cool. Speaking of sequels. Halloween Kills. They want Paul Rudd to reprise his role that he initially had in the
Halloween 6.
Yeah, he played
Curse of Michael Myers.
So I assume they're just he might play this character, but in a different capacity to obviously these, because the new sequel ignores all of this. And obviously this character has played.
This character was played by different
actors in a bunch of other movies as well.
Yeah.
So cool.
Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, they've been trying to get. They've approached him to do this. They were trying to get him. He's obviously
Tommy Doyle was in the original. 78.
Yeah. He was the kid that she was babysitting.
Yeah.
And then he was in this number 6.
Mm-hmm. So just bring back the kid.
Yeah.
And keep it with Paul, because Paul's a name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah. Like you have Jamie Lee Curtis, you have the other girl whose name I can't remember, but's on this list. He's currently filming Ghostbusters, which is so cool. That's gonna help that movie tremendously. Like obviously Ghostbusters is a huge plot. You got the new characters coming back. He's in it. All the old Ghostbusters are supposedly gonna make cameos or be in it in some capacity. But like attaching Paul Rudd to that, I think just like.
It's like the Ant-Man
effect. People are more susceptible to it because they're like, oh, you got Paul Rudd in it. And like he's obviously coming off huge off of Ant-Man, Endgame, and all that stuff. So that's awesome. If they do start shooting in October, it could conflict with shooting Ghostbusters right now. So
they can make it work.
Yeah, obviously they can make it work. But if he doesn't want to, then he's not going to do it. But I'd rather see him do both. I think he would. Yeah. Oh yeah, he would. Cool. That would be dope. Obviously, I'm really hoping they change the name of these movies.
Kills and
Ends. Yeah, I get the Halloween Kills, but like I don't know. There's two stupid fucking names.
They're both dumb.
They're both stupid. Doom. This week they had Doom Con. It's the 25th anniversary of Doom, so they stealth released Doom 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch, as well as the PS4 and Xbox One or whatever. But that was pretty cool. You can now play the original Dooms on the Switch, which is kind of cool. Obviously, they all look drastically different. I think you can buy them in a pack or you can buy them separate kind of thing. I was looking at Doom 3 because I thought that might be fun to play on the Switch. But Yeah, so that was cool. Bethesda Con, or QuakeCon, I believe it's called, is going on right now. So there is so my sister told me about this the other day, and I was like, okay, where did you read this? Because like, there's a lot of people sometimes who will tell you shit, and you're like, it's like 5 years old. She's like, no, it's new. I'm sure enough, I looked it up, and yeah, it's brand new. So what's going on is
1 minute ago.
Yeah, 1 minute ago. So what's happening is, y'all remember the Recess cartoon from back in the day? It was actually really entertaining. It was a great show. I really wish Disney would do something with it. They'd probably remake it and gear it towards children, because that's what they seem to do with all their new properties. But anyways, so fans are trying to make a live action one of them set in high school. I'm intrigued by this idea. Also, at the same time, it's going to be fan-made, so it's going to be terrible.
Yep.
No offense to people, but, sometimes fan-made things are terrible. Sometimes they're really good, so I really shouldn't say that. But, yeah, these two guys they're trying to get people together and trying to pull off financing or whatever to show what it's like for these kids now in high school in a live-action thing. I just thought that was interesting, because obviously Recess back in the day was huge. It had a theatrical release.
I just want to read the little blurb that they have.
Yeah,
the team needs $9,000 to get going, but just have 5 days to do it. They've only managed to make 900.
So obviously this ain't going anywhere. But still, I thought that was an intriguing idea. Yeah, I like the thing of like, what happened when they go to high school? How does high school look like? Because they're grade school and all the shenanigans that went on there.
They've made the film though. It says things are not set in stone despite the film currently being in post-production. So they have made it. They have shot the film. But they need the money to either finish post or then distribute it.
See, we probably should not skip to the end part of the article and read the little bit. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I was reading the whole thing.
Oh, I was just talking about the movie. So we'll see it in some way, shape, or form. That's cool. Yeah. Man, $9,000 for post-production. That's fucking insane if you think about it. Indiegogo's the one where, you get the money regardless? Or is Indiegogo the one where, if it's not funded, it doesn't go?
Like, you're saying they won't even get the 900?
Yeah, I forget which one it is that does it.
I think GoFundMe, you get whatever you make.
And Indiegogo's the one where, if you don't do it, you don't do it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Man, you know what? But that's cool. I'm intrigued to watch that if it ever does. You know what annoys me? When you see a cool new product, on an advertisement on Instagram or on a website or whatever, they're like, check out this cool new thing, and you're like, okay, cool. I kind of want
this. Yeah, and then it's
it's a fucking Indiegogo campaign. You're like, fucking.
Or it's like a GoFundMe thing.
Bitch.
It's what's the other one? I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
But it's another type of thing where you gotta support it.
Yeah.
Or you gotta pre-order it on the chance that they actually make it.
And I'm like,
oh man, I just wish I could buy it now.
Yeah. Because there was this cool thing that I was looking at the other day, and what it was a portable, it connected to the Pro controller, but it also held the Switch screen. Mm-hmm. So instead of having the kickstand out and trying to play with the Pro controller wherever you are, the device attaches to the Pro controller, and you can turn it upside down, it doesn't fall off, and the screen sits on top of that. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. You just take all that with you, whatever, and instead of using the Joy-Cons to play like this, if you want another way to play, you could use the Pro controller that way. I'm like, that's fucking cool. So they're like, here's the only click on it. It's a fucking campaign that hasn't fully gone yet. I'm like, fuck off. I hate that so much. I'm like, how about you not advertise until you're ready to go? I get that doesn't make sense for what you're trying to accomplish, but I'm like, I wanted this fucking product. Yeah, I don't want to wait on the off chance I might get it. I want
this product shipped to me next week. I don't want to pre-order one that may never arrive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, man. It just bums me out, because I'm like, and you're like, why don't you just support Indiegogo? And I'm like, why don't you just fucking put out the product? Because I'm not dropping $80 for this alleged thing that may never see the light of day. Mm-hmm. It just I understand the need for these things, but at the same time I'm just like, fuck, I really wanted the thing.
I'll try again in a couple of years. Maybe it's available then.
I'll just keep Googling it and see if it comes out until I forget the name of it. Speaking of Google, last week we spent 20 minutes trying to figure out what the fucking name of the show is.
Zoobilee Zoo.
Zoobilee Zoo was the name of that thing. We looked for fucking 20 minutes.
As I went home, I took 10 more minutes.
He sent me the link, and I looked it up, and I was going to add it to like, hey, by the way, it was this. And I'm like, no, we'll save it till next week. And I'll be like, this was the thing. Yeah, so I immediately fucking, I was sitting here. With a Z. Yeah, I was sitting here still doing some like just post stuff for the thing. I just saving everything and make sure it was all labeled right. And I typed it into Google, and sure enough, it came on, and I played the theme song. And I'm like, I don't remember the theme song, but I kind of do. And then I'm like, I fucking remember this terrible show.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah, and it scared the shit out of me.
It should. It's fucking terrifying.
It's they're dressed as like dogs and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like
they have magical powers and shit, and they all have stupid fucking names based off what their career is.
It's definitely Canadian made.
Oh, it was 100% Canadian thing is. I'm gonna put a picture right here of whatever the fuck this is.
25 minutes.
25 minutes in.
Is that cat in your house?
I don't know, but some animals dying closely outside. That was weird. But yeah, it's creepy, and you guys will see. I'll put it right there. If I wouldn't get dinged for the trailer, I'd fucking play the trailer.
You gotta play it for me after, though.
Yeah,
watch it. I just did that.
I'll show you after. I'll drop a link down below.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's fucking terrifying and creepy. But yeah, that was our update on that. I know sometimes we like Google shit for 20 minutes, can't find it, and then update nobody on the thing. But I thought that was funny. Hasbro is open to making figures for their Lightning collection or whatever of the Power Rangers, not just of the TV shows, but also of the comic characters that are exclusive to comics or just introduced, or the Hyperforce D&D series characters that is on a big series on YouTube. I saw that. Yeah, it's the same like campaign thing where but it's based with Power Rangers and stuff.
Someone reads you a story.
Yeah,
roll dice.
Yeah, that, and it's actually a really successful. Exactly. People really enjoyed that series. It was hosted by the Time Force Pink Ranger. I forget her actress's name, but they had like guest stars from like different eras because they're like they're the Time Force Rangers, but like later on. Mm-hmm. And they had different guest stars of Power Rangers from the past who were like showed on and was like, okay, this is what we're doing, and we're gonna do this, and this happens in the campaign kind of thing. It was kind of interesting. I didn't watch it, but I just read it. It was kind of interesting. But yeah, someone asked the guy, was like, hey, are you guys like open to making different figures than just the other things? He's like, yeah. He's like, we see the love and support you guys have put behind the comic and the Hyperforce show and different things like that. And he's like, yeah, we're totally open to making characters based off that. Kind of like, if you buy it, we'll make it type of thing. And I like that because Saban was like notorious for just being douchebags when it came to everything. And they stuck to the Mighty Morphin thing because that's what sold. Like, they didn't even try. Like, near the end, they kind of tried because they're like, oh, shit, we're going to lose this license. But, like, they didn't really expand anything. Like, most of the toys you saw were Mighty Morphin. Granted, I love Mighty Morphin.
Power Rangers.
That was beautiful. Top notch. But, yeah, I like that because there's a few, like, obviously Draken and, like, the Ranger Slayer that they introduced in the comic book would be cool figures to have. Other than just the Mighty Morphin era. So that's kind of cool. I just thought that was interesting to myself. Netflix has introduced... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man, I love those on the Jive. You go there and they have the shower thoughts posted and you're like,
there's this one about that's always mind-fucked me, and I don't remember it fully. And I don't... You know what? Let's just stop.
Yeah.
Might not even be a shower thought. But it fell in my head right now.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the microwave.
Okay.
Have you ever read this thing that like 90 seconds isn't the same as a minute 30?
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this.
And like if you stopwatch it, like on your phone or something, you punch in 90 seconds and then you do something and you a minute 30 on your phone, one's gonna go off before the other.
Yeah.
And you're like,
how? Yeah.
How? They're both 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Like 60 plus 30 is 90. 1 minute 30 is the same.
Yeah.
But like the math doesn't check out or something fucks up.
It's really fucking dumb, and like it's so weird. Yeah, I've heard that before.
That. Yeah, and it's just No, just fell in there now.
No, it's
not a shower thought.
No. That's a shower thought.
I think it was a shower
That
thought.
Is a shower thought. It's like, why isn't 90 seconds the same as a minute 30? Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
Fuck it is.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, especially when in the back of fucking movies, they tell you a movie is 127 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I fucking hate.
Yeah.
I hate that I have to read that 127 minutes and then do the math.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2 hours, 7 minutes.
Because then you're just like, oh, it's only an hour 27. You're like, wait a tick, I'm a moron.
Minutes.
Yeah. Because like sometimes you'll sit down on Netflix and you'll see and you're like, it says that and you're like, oh man, it's like an hour, I can just watch it and whatever. And then you're like, you start watching it and you're like,
there for 3 days.
Yeah, you're like, what the
fuck?
It's like when I went back to watch the Star Wars thing, but I'd always start them so late, so it took me like a week to watch the original trilogy because I was just like, I'm tired of going to bed. But I watched like 45 minutes of each one. You're just like, it's too long, man. So I saw this headline, and it was like, Netflix announces 7 new original series, including a How to Train Your Dragon spinoff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's a big property for DreamWorks or whatever, and they wanted to have a thing. So I clicked it, and I read the article. These 7 ones that they're introducing are all kids' shows. But I'm like, this makes sense. Disney is gearing full up with their stuff, and it's going to have kids stuff. They have the kids programming. So obviously Netflix wants to try to compete, so they're going to have kid shows. They already have a few kid shows, but this is just adding to it so parents can be like, well, I don't want to pay for Disney, another thing. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, here, I'll just plop the kid down in front of this Netflix show. Because kids don't give a fuck what they're watching for the most part. It's just bright colors. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. And like, yeah, that Train Your Dragon thing is a big thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Allegedly. It's all fine, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to read you the shows because they're not going to fucking watch any of them. No. But that was just in the thing, so.
Did you see that Disney's making rated R animated movies? Or Pixar's making rated R?
Really?
Disney?
Making Why didn't see that?
Google it.
Yeah.
Let's ask the Googs.
Googs! Disney making rated R cartoons or something.
You're going to go right over top your article?
Yep. Oh, I have pocket open.
Okay, you got the other one? So like you're erasing our main news page. Rated R movies. Yeah, 2019. Go to that one.
Wow. I know they have that one coming up because
Disney's releasing its first R-rated film in 6 years, but I know they're making a list of...
Yeah, it's that one movie they picked up. It's that stubborn movie from...
I'd animated. They're doing a run of animated R-rated films.
Okay. Check off 2019. While we're doing this, I hit cap lock by accident. Netflix has picked up Big Mouth for 3 more seasons. Which is kind of cool because that... Oh, it's not giving us anything.
I'll type. You talk.
Okay.
Because you're just looking at their current movies. Let me type.
Type away. Yeah, so Big Mouth, obviously, fun. It's a really funny show on Netflix that I enjoy. Oh yeah, I need that cap. It's very important. Oh look, according to Wikipedia, Oliver and Company. Have you ever thought of like saving any of the articles that you just read?
I fucking should. I really should. Trying to find the fucking mouse.
This desk is like really bad for the mouse. You actually need to have the mouse there. But yeah, Big Mouth, 3 of them. It's pretty cool. Can we just talk about how like I just hate if it doesn't find anything, it just populates the list of like whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, The Lion King's going to be number 1 at the box office again. I'm like,
the word Disney
what does that have to fucking do with anything, Google?
This might be it because like.
But like, what I hate about this is like, Disney's released stuff before, just not under the Disney brand.
Yeah, but they were doing like R-rated movies, and like one of them was like that done by that guy that did that Kobo or whatever. Remember that big animated movie? It was like that weird anime fucking monkey thing or some shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be doing one of them. I don't know. I'll have to look. I should really save these fucking articles.
Yeah, because you were like, hey, did you see this? And I'm like, no. And then we look for the thing and it's not here. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But yeah, they were making R-rated movies. R-rated.
Yeah. I like that Kojiko's giving me an ad. And I'm like, fuck off. I give you enough money. Don't give me your ads. I don't need your shit, Kojiko. Yeah, they ain't the deal with the creators.
I never finished the first season.
I did. I really liked it. And I finished the second one.
It was too much.
Yeah, I get that.
Much.
Yeah.
It was like overly what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Also, it was like, it's like, okay, so you got your American Dads,
yeah,
your Family Guys, your Simpsons, you know.
Yeah.
They push the line. They talk about shit. And this was funny, but it was too much.
I can get that, yeah. I watched the first thing, I watched the second thing. There's like a little mini movie I haven't watched, but yeah, so they got the 3 seasons, 4, 5, and 6, as well as the new deal, which will also give them another show and another set of like made to movies or whatever. That's cool. I like it. I like that it's going to keep going. I like that Netflix isn't canceling everything because obviously they need stuff, and obviously adult animation series or whatever there are big properties. Like if you look at, you know, Family Guy, The Simpsons, your South Parks and whatnot, they're still like huge, and people really seem to enjoy them, so it's good. Speaking of adult, is this going to be an adult thing? Kevin Smith gave an update on his Howard the Duck series. He said they haven't really sat down to do anything yet, but in the next like month they're gonna sit down with like a writer's room, and hammer all this shit out. But we won't see it for a while. But he just wanted to give an update on like what is going on. Oh yeah, it was one of the ones announced that were gonna be one of the 4 animated ones by Hulu. So that's cool. Adriana Sharp has joined Michael Fassbender and Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as David Hasselhoff and David Sandberg, the guy who's the writer and director of this movie. The Kung Fu 2 movie, apparently Kung Furry. It says it's a YouTube movie, or short. But is this the one where he fights with nunchucks that are like,
I have no idea,
raccoons or something, or
nunchucks made out of fucking raccoons?
Or not raccoons, squirrels or something, or chipmunks.
I don't know.
Okay, no, this is not the movie I'm thinking of then. I was thinking of some other movie. It's like, it was some really stupid movie where this guy, like, he's trying to honor the old school, like, Japanese
What's the one?
things.
Is that the one from, like, years ago?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I thought this was it.
Just right. Kung movie. And see what ones come up.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That's what I thought this was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sequel to this stupid movie. This is a bad movie. Yeah, see, he makes the nunchucks out of like chipmunks or gophers or some
2002.
shit. Yeah.
Fuck.
I thought it was a sequel to this movie. Apparently, it's not. That's why I was confused about the YouTube thing. But yeah, they're making a movie sequel to this. Apparently, Hitler's the villain. So now I kind of want to watch this.
That's a weird.
Yeah, movie. But like it's obviously like
how'd you score big names?
I don't know.
From the first one to the second, you know what I mean? It's a cult thing. I think it just hit that following.
Maybe in the first one, there's a whole bunch of like different like celebrities already in it.
Maybe.
I'll have to watch this to check it out. But yeah, there's some big name stars in this.
You got Fassbender?
Yeah, man, you got Fassbender and Schwarzenegger.
You got Fassbender?
I saw this the other day when I was scrolling through Deadline Hollywood. Jeff Bridges is going to star in a TV show on FX about a retired CIA agent who, like, I guess this assassin.
I liked, it says it's written by the guys that did Black Sails. I really liked Black Sails. The first 3 seasons, never went back though, you know me. But really good show. for what it was. It was kind of like a blend of like Pirates.
Yeah.
And it had to do with Long John Silver.
Yeah.
And Treasure Island, but set like 20 years before Treasure Island.
I like the idea. Wait, it's called The Old Man, and Bridges is gonna play a retired CIA agent who's been living off the grid. But when an assassin comes back to try to take him out, he has to come back to like reconcile his past and whatnot. And I'm like, that's cool. I wonder if there'll be like flashbacks to like his past, and like obviously he's gonna be this badass CIA dude. And I saw that and I'm like, that sounds cool. It's on FX, which makes cool dramas, so it'll be like good, and they won't have to tone it down. And yeah, I saw that and I was like, all right, cool, I'm in. Whenever this show comes out. Speaking of shows that whenever they come out, they'll probably be good. The John Wick prequel series we talked about like months ago. They confirmed it's still in development. They gave more details on it. It's gonna take place. It's premiering after. Yeah, it's a prequel. It's premiering after Chapter 4, so it's like 2 years away at this point. It's gonna like talk about the hotel that he stays at and the things, and just like what it is and kind of thing.
Are we saying? Is it just an add-on to this, or are they going to recast a younger John Wick?
I don't know if John Wick is even in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Is it just about? Is it an addition to the world
that
was created, or is it?
It's an addition to the world that was created. Yeah, it's
John
called.
Wick's not in it.
Yeah, it's called The Continental. It takes place before that. The guy who wrote for The Sopranos is the writer and showrunner. The director who is going to do the premiere.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's got the guys behind it who did it. I thought it said Keanu Reeves was an executive producer on it.
I think he's a producer on the movie, so I could see him be a part of the show.
Yeah, he's also an executive producer on this series, and like that means he's involved because he's.
It was just unclear or not whether Wick will end up appearing in the rumored 8-episode series. Yeah, I just don't know. Like Wick could appear, but if this is set so long before the film, it can't be Keanu unless you digitally make him younger. Unless you speed him.
Knowing Keanu and the way he does things, obviously.
Plus, he's ageless.
Yeah, he's ageless. Yeah,
like Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
still looks 18.
So obviously, we know how he works. He won't just be. He's not. Like some actors, they'll take the executive producer role and like really not do anything. They're just there because they were kind of involved in the show before the original thing. Keanu will take this executive producer role and actually do stuff in the series, and may or may not be in it because that's just who Keanu is. He's the bomb. I haven't watched John Wick 3 yet, but I can't wait to watch it because I love John Wick. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, so that's cool. I'd like to know more about the hotel. That whole like. You can't kill in it, and like the assassins stay there, and even if they have a contract out of the other guy, they're not supposed to hit them, and like if you do, you lose all the thing, and that's what John Wick 3 is about. Cool. So we'll see that at some point in the next two years. Speaking of things that are coming in the next 2 to 3 years, Universal streaming service. Comcast talked about their streaming service and what's going on with that. They're looking to hit an April 2020 thing. Right now, the way it's going to roll out is kind of people who have Comcast are going to get it first type of deal where like, I'm trying to think of it, kind of like our WD network where like you have it, but you have all this stuff, but no one else outside of it can access it yet. And then they'll open it up. Right now, it's going to be free ad supported offering for the people on Comcast and Sky. They're looking to kind of roll it out around the Olympics, which means they'll just put a bunch of the Olympic programming on it so people can watch the Olympics easier. Obviously, one of the tent poles they were looking at was The Office. And that was a big thing for them because if The Office is massive right now, and Netflix just paid $500 million to get it for another year. So that's crazy. It was just like, it was the brass talking about it, so there wasn't like a lot of big things, but of course, like NBC's offering is fucking massive, just the same as Warner Brothers is. Like, they're the two biggest producers of everything in the world. Plus, it's NBC Universal, so like anything Universal is underneath that. So, like, between Netflix is kind of fucked, I think.
It just sucks that
we are at this point now where we have all of them.
And you're back to that beginning again where like you're paying all these different subscriptions, and then hopefully someone else like Netflix 2.0 comes in and then
brings them all back
in house.
Yeah.
And you just buy one subscription.
You figure you're probably paying about $45 a month, maybe $50 to get all three of these things now, even if you drop Netflix. Because like these things are going to take all of their shows and movies back. Like,
what are you watching on Netflix?
All this stuff's gone? Somebody was it Universal that said, yeah, we're open to having them on both? I mean, like, from what I've read from this Universal article, it looks like they're not wanting to be like Disney and Warner Brothers, where like you have to go here. Mm-hmm. This was more of a like.
Well, this one was free.
Yeah. Also, it seemed like they're trying to get the lowest thing, so this could be like a $5 thing, maybe, where it's like, yeah, you could have Netflix, or you could just come over here and watch The Office, but also have all this other stuff that Netflix doesn't have, but it might have as well. So it looks like I'm what I've heard and read from various people at Universal whenever they talk about it in articles and stuff is very much that they're going to split with it and not just take their ball and go home, which is what Warner Brothers is Disney is doing. And that's what I think they're doing with that, because Comcast and Universal just own everything now. The other half of what Disney doesn't own. So,
or Warner Brothers and AT&T.
I guarantee you at some point someone will buy Warner Brothers. Whether it's these guys or Disney, I don't think Disney would be allowed to buy Warner Brothers. These guys might, but
I don't think anyone. I think those three would always stay separate.
Yeah, you think? I think at some point someone will try to buy Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers with AT&T now, just like they're with Comcast. Like, it'd be the same thing, and again, you're going to run into that monopoly problem.
Did you see the completely unrelated to anything in the universe, but related to people who have tech? Sprint and T-Mobile now are allowed to join.
Oh yeah,
they okayed the deal now, so now they're just a huge fucking mega power on top of the other ones.
T?
Yeah, Sprint T. That's a terrible name. Please don't use that one. They're gonna use it. It's like HBO Max.
That's a terrible
name. That is a terrible name,
because it makes me think that I'm just getting HBO.
Yeah,
because that's what it says.
It does. It really does, and it's so
doesn't tell me that it's everything Warner Brothers has.
Yeah, no, it's just
what a dumb fucking.
All right, so we're gonna cover this quickly and move on because we talk about this ad nauseum all the time. Henry Cavill has said that he still wants to play Superman. Cool. Someone asked him at con, like he's like, yeah, I want to play Superman. They're not doing anything obviously, but I will still want to play Superman. Awesome. Cool. Moving on. Warner Brothers, Montreal reconfirms they are working on a DC game. Again, we already knew this. Moving on.
God fuck you. God fuck you.
Cody Rhodes wants Stephen Amell to be in All Elite Wrestling at some point, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Amell has been open to the fact. Yeah. It's just talking to Rhodes and whether or not he wants Amell to come visit once he moves to LA, once Arrow's done. Amell is really, really good at wrestling. It's kind of weird how he just does stuff. But yeah, obviously he's friends with Rhodes. They've both worked on shows back and forth with each other on All Elite and WWE, and Rhodes has been on Arrow, so that's cool. I'm sure we'll see him at All Elite. All Elite's TV show debuts really soon. I kind of want to check it out to see their product. I haven't watched any of their actual like pay-per-views or anything like that, but I want to check out their show to see what is going on. Apparently Fox and USA, it's not really, well, it's TV news now because they're both all major networks. Fox and USA are really worried about WWE's ratings and where they're going right now because they're just tanking.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously we talked before, they brought in Bischoff and Paul Heyman to fix the product. Also, they're ditching the PG moniker, so they're hoping that does it. And
reignite the Attitude Era.
And if I think somewhere between the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era, if you can get that to work with good storytelling, you can do it. Because you have wrestlers that you can make good storylines with. They just have horrible writers or Vince McMahon. And I really blame the writers most of the time. I blame Vince McMahon because he thinks he has a great idea, but it turns out he's just a moron. He just does shit on a whim, which, like, we've seen it build up. Vince wants to change this. And just completely is like, we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how you do storytelling.
And, new line.
Yeah, and it's bad storytelling. And what he thinks is funny is stupid. We've seen it time and time again.
Horribly offensive, too.
Horribly offensive as well. And so, like, this week, prime example, they did their Raw reunion show. We had a bunch of old guys come out and, do their normal rigmarole. So they reintroduced the Bullet Club, which is Luke Gallows and AJ Styles right now. Big property back in a couple years ago, right? At the club. Well, they named them. I forget what they named them, but it was like the One or something, or the O something. They're the original club or something. OC. They named them the OC, the original club, to get away from the club name because it's still associated kind of with the Bullet Club. And so they came out and they did their thing or whatever. But then they had DX come out with like the NWO people, which is like, okay, cool. But then they had the DX people and the NWO people beat the shit out of the club. And everyone was like, why are you burying the club? You just had
your current roster.
Yeah, you just had old guys come out and beat the shit out of, like, Hall and Nash can barely move along with Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, they had Triple H and they had Shawn Michaels and they had Road Dogg, obviously. But still, like, don't do that. Like, yeah, it's cool to see those guys come out, but at the same time, why are you burying your characters?
Yeah.
You're having me. Yeah. It's just dumb. And I guess Waltman on his podcast made that point that, like, I guess the wrestlers pointed that out to upper management, was like, you're burying your current stars with old stuff. And they're like, no, it's cool.
It'll
be funny. Like, you guys are dumb. And this is why people hate your product half the time. It's like, and it's not even the vocal minority anymore with WWE fans. It's everyone.
It's just everyone, yeah.
Like,
minority
and
majority.
we watch stuff every now and then, like the pay-per-views we check out, and like, we're just like, this is stupid. Your story, like, some of the storylines, fantastic. Other shit, really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
The Bray Wyatt stuff I've sent you, that stuff is really cool. Please don't ruin Bray Wyatt again. You already ruined him 3 different times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're a little worried about ratings because obviously now SmackDown is going to be on major TV again. Like, it's not going to be like Friday Night CW back in the day when it was. Yeah. It's on Fox on a major time slot.
What time?
I don't remember. Maybe Tuesday before they tape it, or when they tape it live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on a major network going up against major shows. Like, you can't have it be bad, and obviously they can't have it be PG. But we'll see what they do. I'm intrigued to see if this company can turn it around with Heyman, like, in charge with Bischoff, in charge of the writers, and not have him. They're able to tell Vince, this is stupid, knock it off. Listen to us. And like,
both of us almost took you down twice.
Exactly. Like, and have the writers like be able to write and not switch stuff. And they've already let go a bunch of writers, which sucks for the writers, obviously. Yeah. But if they're going to streamline and have exactly, like, just throwing shit at the wall and sees what sticks. But yeah, that is what's going on there. And it'll be interesting to see wrestling. Wrestling obviously is still pretty big. Like, it's not going anywhere. Obviously, people are like, wrestling's terrible, blah, blah, blah. But, like, people still watch it. Mm-hmm. Its numbers are big. Well, not TV numbers, but its revenue's big. All of its other numbers are down, revenue, house shows, but whatever. So they're trying to fix that product. I don't want WWE to go anywhere. And with All Elite, hopefully they'll pick up their, because when WCW came around, WWE was dying. They had to do something. Mm-hmm. And granted, not all of the Attitude Era is great. But what is why everyone remembers the Attitude Era so goddamn fondly. Mm-hmm. So if they can be like, hey, we have to fix this, and we need to fix this because now there's actual competition, do it. The Game of Thrones guys, David Benioff. I always want to read that as Benoit, and then I'm like, no, that's not right, and don't say that name. And then Weiss are getting ready to leave HBO. They've got huge offers from everyone.
Mm-hmm. They're doing Star Wars.
They're doing Star Wars. They're got every major studio is in the mix to get these guys to sign them the contracts, just like Abrams is.
Yeah, Abrams went to Warner Brothers. And I'm curious what happens with him and Warner Bros. In DC. You know he's getting tied to that.
I know, I'm so excited.
You know Abrams is getting tied to that.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
You don't bring in Abrams
and not have him
be like, okay, so we're gonna do your movies, your in-house ones, your own productions, and we're doing all this stuff. Just talking.
Yeah.
What are your ideas for DC?
Yeah, you got any ideas? And you know he does.
He almost did Flyby.
Yeah.
He almost did Superman back in the day before Returns. He wrote a script for it. He wasn't directing.
Did you see that cool fucking fan art someone did of Ralph as Kingdom Come Superman?
No.
Oh my god, it was like this cool sketch.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Yeah, Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god,
yeah,
I just complete sidetrack. I just thought of that now.
No, I know. I'm looking forward to that too. But, you don't bring in Abrams, who kickstarted re-kickstarted Mission Impossible, Star Trek, and Star Wars, and not have him do anything, and not have him touch DC and be like, just.
If they don't, I truly believe Warner Brothers is fucking brain dead.
Everyone at the office is just dumb. Here's the guy that kickstarted those 3 major franchises: Star Wars, Star Trek, and Mission Impossible.
But you don't have him touch DC.
You're like, no, we got this. We don't need your help. He comes into that meeting. He's like, hey, I got some ideas for DC. He's like, everyone.
We got this. We know
what we're doing. We figured it out.
We got Margot Robbie. We're good.
Yeah, we're just gonna make 35 movies with her. They're not gonna be good, and people will still pay to see them.
Yeah, but yeah.
He's like, oh, okay.
So and now because obviously we knew the end of Game of Thrones, hugely polarized, not that well liked. The last season is pretty much almost universally hated.
Yeah.
But it also got 32 Emmy nominations for everyone in the goddamn show. So that shot up their fucking thing even more, right? Because you have a show, Final Thing gets 32 fucking nominations. Obviously their stock has gone up, but yeah, people are still worried if they can finish a thing. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with these guys.
I think they're great at adapting something that is completed. Give them a series of books or whatever, and be like, "Hey, this is done.
Yeah,
make it into a show."
Well, that's the thing with J.J. Abrams. We know he can do his own stuff as well as other people's properties and make them what they need to be. So. Just another set of creators. I'm interested to see what they do post something, because we've seen huge people do nothing afterwards. Yeah. But then there's also your fucking guys who do hugely successful all the time. So we will see. We shall see. We are at 57 minutes, which is almost an hour, which is kind of cool.
We're done. I think we went through every story on here.
Yeah, we'll skip that because we don't want to talk about anything about that anyways. But yeah, so that was this week's podcast. Obviously, news light. We, talked about stuff. Again, not always going to be news heavy. We've talked about this before. But anyways, remember, we are on Spotify and every other major podcast service except for Stitcher, the big podcast service, because they are notorious about getting your shit even worse than Spotify is. So anyways, yeah, check us out. We'd appreciate the the follow, subscribe, sub, please, all that stuff. We appreciate it. It lets us know that you're enjoying it, liking it, and we're here every week to bring you almost quality content, but content. But content. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.